to this week's episode of the Standing Room Only podcast. I am Goose. I am here with Healy. I have a cat right here that's trying to jump in, say hi to everybody. This is episode number 22. We have gone 22 weeks, not including the weeks that we missed due to the COVID-19 outbreak. So technically, we're going on to this is like week 25 since we first
Yeah,
started.
about the
Wanted
half a year mark.
Yeah, almost, right? So I just want to give everybody a shout out to everybody who's been showing us some love on social media, who's been staying interactive. We got a lot of love today. We put out a question out there for everybody, and we got a little love. And just want to say thanks for everybody joining back. Again, if you are not following us on social media, we are on Instagram, we are on Twitter, SR Only Pod. Most importantly, follow us on our streaming services. We are on Apple Podcasts. We are on Spotify. We're even on YouTube if you want to check it out. Standing Room Only Podcast. For our personal accounts, for me, I am iGoose. That's with 4 O's. I am on Instagram. And for Healy,
I am the Healy6, and you can follow my YouTube channel at Healy6.
yes, if you guys are into baseball, gaming content, whatever it may be, go ahead, give Healy a follow. He makes awesome content. Been saying this the last few weeks. Baseball season is rolling around, hopefully soon. If you play MLB The Show in your spare time, because I know everybody has a lot of it, he makes some good content. Speaking of baseball, what's the news?
Well, before we get into that, speaking of MLB The Show, this week
Uh-oh.
I joined a custom league with 29 other people, and there's a lot of major league guys in the league.
No way.
I'm gonna be playing Lucas Giolito,
No
Carlos
way.
Carlos Rodon of the White Sox. Josh Hader's in the league. Joey Gallo is in the league. Closer
Wow.
for the Braves, Will Smith is in the league.
No way.
This was set up by Derek Holland. He is a pitcher now for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He invited myself into the league, and he's personally hosting it, and 8 of the 30 teams make the playoffs. Whoever makes the playoffs gets $100, and whoever wins it gets $1,000. So I'm trying to go for it all. I'm hoping my playoff chances from the get-go looking good. So I'm hoping to get that $100. If you guys follow me on YouTube or like Twitch at Healy6, I will be playing some of those major league guys there. But yeah, a lot of major league talent. There was a couple other guys as well involved. There's a couple minor leaguers, but pretty much MLB The Show content creators and MLB players in general. It's pretty sweet.
That's awesome. This is my first time hearing that. I've always heard that you've gamed with other professionals. You talked about it last week. You're in a league with actual pro players.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
A
awesome.
league with other guys. They're all playing the game right now since they can't play baseball. And it should be fun.
Who are you most excited to tear apart and pick their brain?
Well, we'll have to see how many people I actually communicate with, like talk to. But
Okay.
the person I'm most excited to play, Joey Gallo, because his card in MLB The Show, his player in MLB The Show, is unbelievable. He has no contact, no vision. He's all power, and anything he touches is a home run. So I'm excited to play him, mainly for like a YouTube aspect, because everyone in the MLB The Show community knows that he is a god. And if people see that I actually play him on MLB The Show, they're going to probably tune in and want to see what he does.
That's awesome. So you should get a decent amount of watchers, followers for that. What do you call them?
Viewers.
Viewers, watchers,
Yeah.
okay, same thing, yeah. So, that's awesome. Congrats and good luck on that, man. I'm
Yeah.
gonna figure out a way to maybe stream it on my TV during, is it gonna be at night, during the day? What's going on?
I don't know a schedule yet.
Okay, okay.
It
Well,
still hasn't
keep
been
us in the loop.
completely filled, so I I don't have a schedule as of now, but I definitely will let people know once I do get it.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Well, good luck on that. That's actually really cool. So baseball.
Yeah. So last night there was a report put out that baseball could possibly be coming back in May. Will it? We'll have to see. If it does come back though, there is going to be a lot of changes. They're going to try to get 162 in this year. How they do it though, they are going to try and play every single game in Arizona at the spring training facilities. So that'll be interesting because the teams that play in Arizona, there's only like 12 or 10 to 12 stadiums that you could play at. So not every team will be able to play every day. Maybe they have a game during the day and then at nighttime they switch up and have two other teams play at a stadium. We'll have to see with that. And also, with playing in Arizona at the spring training facilities, they're going to play a decent amount of double headers, 7-inning double headers. 7 innings.
7 innings reminds me of almost of like
High school
yeah,
days.
pony baseball, like growing up,
Mm-hmm.
12, 13 years old, tourney ball.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
And just like from a major league perspective, 7 inning games, I don't think that's ever happened. I don't know if they've ever played 7 innings, like
Unless there's a rain
regulation.
delay.
Well, yeah, without like the game getting canceled and
Like,
like,
exactly. I mean, maybe, yeah, there and I mean, I get the point of it. They wanna do it because it's gonna avoid traveling time. They could just get up, go to the field, warm up, practice. I mean, sure, they won't go home. They don't I feel bad because they don't spend time at home as it is, but, I mean, they are paid professionals. They're making millions and millions and whoppings of dollars. I was gonna say it'd be cool if they just let them play in their home stadiums, just with no fans.
mm-hmm,
Nothing changes for the White Sox, so we'd still rock it out.
yeah.
Um, but I don't know. I kind of I don't mind the idea of it just to get these guys going, to get them playing, get the viewers up, and they gotta get the money flowing too. I mean, it's a business.
Yeah, and they don't want to cancel the year. They don't want a year gone not because of like a strike or something. And also like they're doing a bunch of 7 inning games because they're going to do double headers. Like you might say like, "Oh, the extra 4 innings, what about it?" Double headers will wear on guys, so they'll use less pitchers. You'll be playing less game time, and also with this whole thing in Arizona, all the guys will get tested before the season starts, and then they have to be quarantined in Arizona. So they can't move at all. They can't go out and do anything. They have to stay where they are at. And that's one of the main things why they're playing in Arizona. All the stadiums are close by. If they're traveling and stuff, the risk of getting it immediately shoots. So
It's
keep
super high.
so you have to keep them all in one area. And that's why they're
Yeah, and
saying Arizona.
and it's gonna be a matter of, hey, hop on the team bus and go straight to the stadium or wherever they're at. They might have a hotel right by the stadium, but I think that's a good idea. I mean, I think everybody assumes the risk here and understands why. And I think for them too, I think they'd rather play anywhere than not play at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we've seen it where other professional sports, and I think including baseball, where these GMs and executive guys up in the office are taking pay cuts because they're just not making money right now.
Yeah.
And so I think it'll help. It'll boost, the chances of um keeping the money flowing. I mean, of course, there's so much money in baseball, right? Like, I mean, it's one
Yeah.
of the richest sports. It's an American sport or America's favorite pastime sport, quote
Mm-hmm.
unquote, right? So I don't know. I think it's a good idea. I think getting the guys going and playing, and nobody really has a home field advantage. So
Yeah.
maybe nobody on the Rockies smacks 40 home runs.
CDC is saying that like this could be a good idea. So I did see some people they thought like, oh, like don't risk it or whatever. If the CDC is saying like this is good, I'm gonna trust them as of now. Also, going back to your Rockies thing, they're playing in Arizona. It's dry. Who knows if they're going to use a humidor for the baseballs? The balls fly in Arizona. They use a humidor because of that. I could see a lot of big home run numbers. The big thing that I would not want to miss out with for the full season is having a player's year just like completely go down the drain. Especially like a guy like Mike Trout could go down as one of the best of all time.
Yep.
Let's say he remains great his whole career. He has a solid 20-year career. He finishes with like, let's just say 740 home runs. He misses out on a full season. He could have passed the home run record or
That's
like
40
did
home runs right
something.
there. Yep. And that's
So,
what I'm saying. So I mean, it's huge. It's huge. And I don't know. I think I mean anybody who plays baseball is one of those sports where you just have love for the game.
mhm.
And I mean, it doesn't matter. We used to play. I mean, I don't know about you. You played baseball growing up. I
Yeah.
mean, I played baseball. The biggest thing for me was just playing, getting guys together and just playing anywhere. We'd play in a lot if we had to. We just wouldn't be sliding.
Mhm.
So I think it would be a good idea. I think it would be a and I mean I would definitely watch. I would have fun doing it. I still want to see what my White Sox have to offer with this young squad on the up and up right now. So, um, and to see what the Angels do. I mean, the Angels are definitely on my radar. You know, they
Mhm.
have made some changes this year, and then obviously we have the Astros. Who knows what's going to happen with them? I still think they're a really good team.
The Dodgers with
Um,
Mookie Betts.
yeah, Mookie Betts in LA, and they have Cody Bellinger, who's been rocking out the past couple of years. So I don't know. I miss baseball.
And
It's
here's the thing: if the season does get canceled, Mookie Betts will enter free agency. Not even play a single game in a Dodgers uniform.
Does he but he still gets paid for the year, right?
I think so. Oh, oh.
Let's ignore that.
Noob move. Is this your first podcast?
This is my first podcast. I do apologize to everybody listening.
Yeah, but service time will still like accumulate. So like Trevor Bauer would be a free agent, Mookie Betts and other notable guys. So Dodgers would lose out on some prospects they got rid of. They did get back David Price, so not too bad, but they would lose out on Mookie Betts if the season gets canceled.
That'd be rough, especially since they traded for him in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So, any other baseball news? I don't think I heard anything else other than they would be playing in Arizona potentially the whole season. There's obviously been no moves. The season already should have been started. So,
Yeah, no rosters are locked at the moment.
yeah, nothing.
There's nothing they can do. They can't release players. They can't trade for players. Nothing can happen right now. So
Mhm.
nothing will be with that. The only baseball news that will happen in the future is basically just like, is the season starting or not?
Yeah. Yep. So from that, I think we can transition. There's no. Oh, we do have some NFL news.
Yeah, the
The NFL
draft,
draft.
NFL draft, they're doing it all online this year. They're doing it like a fantasy football type thing. I think they're also EA Sports is coming up with like a visual of the draftees going up to the podium and getting their virtual jersey and stuff. So that'll be cool to see. What's funny is it isn't even in Madden. So if they do this, if EA does this for the draft and they don't add it into Madden this year, people are going to be mad. you,
That'd
it,
be interesting to see. So they're gonna add the so EA Sports is get would host it essentially.
well, they would just provide the players going up to the podium and getting a jersey virtually. Just to
Yeah,
make it the TV presentation look a little nicer.
instead of guys like you and I right now using a webcam.
Mm-hmm. Well, and also like instead of just watching like a fantasy big board where you just see a name get popped up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it makes it, for all the, the watchers. I mean, for me or the viewers, for myself, I mean, I personally could watch a board and be okay with it, but that's just me. I think, it's a good idea. They have to have the draft, obviously. Obviously our leader, our, President Trump is expecting the NFL season to start on time. But of course, in September, who knows what's gonna happen.
Yeah, we'll have to see how everything goes. In other NFL news, the Bucks announced their new uniforms. They went back to the red ones from the 2000s, which I personally like. One of my friends on Twitter was like, they should have went back to the creamsicle ones. That would have been cool. But I don't think those will ever return. I think those will be stuck in the 1900s.
Whatever, yeah, whatever years those were, that 80s into the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the jerseys. It's funny that they introduced the uniforms and uh Godwin is wearing the 12 uni in that. So
Oh,
obviously they had it pre-recorded for a while because
yeah.
now he's obviously I think he's is he 13 or 14 now?
14.
He's
14.
14. He actually posted himself in a 14 jersey just to say, "Hey, I'm
Mm-hmm.
rocking 14." Um I'm excited for football. I'm this is probably one of the most exciting years that I've ever been ready and excited to see. And I'm really hoping, not just for the purpose of fantasy football, because I mean, that's always fun, but Tom Brady in a new league and Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, the AFC's up. It's up for grabs right now. So we'll see.
Also, talking about Tom Brady, I think I saw a quote that he's fine, like he's able to finally go to a team that will believe in him, which is kind of odd. The Patriots never believed in him.
No, that's false. I think, I don't know if I believe that.
I feel like what he was. I don't feel like he was trying to make it feel like the Patriots, they never believed in me or anything. I feel like when you go to the Patriots, you play in a system and you play a certain way. You follow it to a T. That's how they succeed. I feel like Brady's comment was like, "Hey, I get to go to a new team and I get to do pretty much what I want and build the game around me and like my teammates. I
Yeah,
don't
because he
have to
doesn't have
follow
a
the script."
exactly. He doesn't have a Bill Belichick. He has himself and some pretty damn good talented receivers. We could end up seeing him back to the days where he would toss balls up to Randy Moss.
Mm-hmm.
So he's never really had talent like that since Moss, in my eyes. I mean, I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to think of some other talent. He's had like Josh Gordon, who got in trouble every single year, never really got to thrive with Brady. He's had, histories of like Wes Welkers and
Julian Edelman,
Julian
guys,
Edelman.
guys that just do 5 yard out routes and short routes, in which helped the Patriots succeed.
Short, quick, shifty guys in the slot. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Guys who are willing on taking, shots over the middle. So it'd be interesting to see. I again, it's only April, so it's still early, too early to tell. I'm looking forward to obviously we talked last week about the schedule. We have the Bucks are going to be playing Green Bay and Chicago, and so yeah, obviously myself being a Packers fan, being a cheesehead. Are you still a cheesehead? I don't know.
No,
You
I'm
wore the
not.
cheesehead?
No,
No.
no, I'm not.
No. So it'd be interesting to see, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
So
this will probably be the first sport that actually happens this year, if it does. And also, like playing in Chicago, I think we talked about it last week of attending a game. I don't know if they're gonna have people attend games this year. I still think we're
maybe.
way out from like having large
Oh,
gathering
it'll definitely be a while. Months and months.
until
I
they get a
wouldn't be
vaccine.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be around and this thing's gonna mutate and it's gonna be a little bit different this upcoming winter versus what it was this past winter. And it's like, I mean, think about the flu, right? It
Mm-hmm.
changes, it mutates, and we always have to get our flu shot, and chances are we still get it, and that's it, build the antibodies for it. So
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And I'm just hoping we start seeing declines in cases and deaths. It's always sad to see. And um I don't know. I think ultimately we're a few weeks out from the declines, and I just want
Mm-hmm.
my sports back. I want everybody. Okay, that sounded very how do I say this? I want everybody to be healthy. I want everybody to live through it, and I want everybody to get back together, and I want to be able to see my family and whatever it is. But deep
Mm-hmm.
down, I also really want to watch some sports too. So
Yeah. I think that's pretty much it for the NFL news.
NBA.
Nothing really happened. NBA, they did the 2K tournament over the weekend. I still think it's going on. I think they did like 4 matchups on Saturday, 4 matchups on Sunday. I think they're still doing it throughout this week. I haven't really followed it. Their setup's okay. It's just I don't really watch 2K in general, so
Yeah.
it didn't really interest me.
It's a cool idea. I like the fact that they're trying to get all the players together. Boogie played. I saw that. I think every team that used Milwaukee won because Giannis is a human cheat code in that game,
Mhm.
kind of like in real life. But yeah, that's pretty much. I don't even know who won what game. I couldn't tell you.
I just know Kevin Durant lost.
Kevin Durant got destroyed. I know he lost for sure because he
Mhm.
lost to I think Milwaukee. But
I Yeah, maybe. Anyways, you brought up something today. I think you texted me. Is that
I
today?
did. Yeah, it was today. Think last night and then today. We put out a poll. I guess not really a poll, but we asked the fans, the listeners, the viewers. There's two different teams I wanted everybody to pick. So we went to Twitter, we went to Instagram. The first question was, "Who is your favorite team?" This is for the NBA fans or people who watch the NBA. Who is your favorite team that made it to the finals but never won? And the second question is, who is your favorite team that never made it to the finals in general? And this isn't in like
Ooh.
history for a franchise. This is in a season. So like there's been seasons where, maybe you're a Warriors fan and you thought last year's Warriors was your favorite season and they didn't win the finals. That would count.
Mhm.
So we had decent amount of people with some pretty good picks actually. We saw, the Thunder with the big three. We saw the Blazers with Aldridge and Lillard. We even saw the Kings, which I thought was a good one. The O2
Yeah.
King, that was actually a really good one.
They got robbed.
Oh man. I mean, to talk about that team, they had Chris Webber, they had Peja Stojakovic. Man, I don't know if you remember Peja. Peja Stojakovic had a burner from downtown.
Mhm.
That dude hit every three he shot. And when he would heat up, there's no stopping him. Hito was it Hito Turkoglu was there?
Mm, I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either. This guy said Hito. I don't know if he's talking about Hito Turkoglu.
Yeah, 2001, 2002. He was with
Yeah.
Sacramento. So
They had Mike Bibby,
they had Turkoglu and Stojakovic. Oh my
two
goodness.
guys who were known for just coming from overseas and just shooting the three ball lights out.
Yeah.
Like that's I like that. That's somebody who thought outside the box. We had somebody who said the 2015 Hawks for the team that never made the finals. I don't know. 15 Hawks is up in the air. I don't even know if they had Josh Smith. I know they still had Joe Johnson, Al Horford. They had Jeff Teague. I wouldn't put them up there. I wouldn't. I mean, it's a good pick.
Was that the 4 All-Star um like year, or like they had like 5 All-Stars or something?
Um,
2015.
I believe so because I think it was Teague. They had Joe Johnson. I'm trying to think if they had Josh Smith at the time, but they also had Al Horford. And who was their 3? I think Josh Smith might have been playing the 4.
So they
Uh,
had this is their normal starting lineup, I think. They had Corver, Teague, Horford, Damari Carroll, Dennis
ooh,
Schroeder
DeMarre
was
Carroll.
there, Thabo, Elton Brand. Josh Smith was not on this team.
Yeah, Josh Smith, I think, had left, I think, maybe after the 13 season.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, they I don't I if you're from Atlanta, sure. I think one of my picks will be like a homer pick. But this team, oh yeah, it was Millsap. So then Millsap, Horford, Schroeder, Korver, and then Jeff Teague was there as well. Then they had Carroll, Elton Brand was still there, John Jenkins, Delvin Mack.
Shelvin Mack. Do you remember Shelvin Mack in college? I think he
Yeah,
was part of that North Carolina team that beat Illini, right? Or was he after? He might have been after.
no, Shelvin Mack was he was drafted in 2010, 2012. 12
Okay. Okay. So
or
he was
20
okay.
or 2011, but he was at Butler.
Oh, Butler. Yes, yes, yes. That's right. That's right. But he was in the March Madness tournament. I
Yep.
definitely remember him.
Mhm.
Um, man, that's a whole nother. Should we relive the March Madness tournament next week? Like our favorite
Maybe.
players, like Cardiac Kemba.
Or like John Moran from last year.
Oh man, nuts, nuts. Um, so with that being said, we heard from some of our viewers and we kind of expressed our opinions. Who'd be your pick? Who would be your pick for the team that made it to the finals that never won?
We'll have to talk about that Thunder team at some point. That was my original, but then once I was looking at finals and stuff, I think I have to go with the 08-09 Orlando Magic. That team was pretty good.
They were good. Is this the same team that beat LeBron?
Yeah, I'm pretty
LeBron,
sure.
that was LeBron's one of his best seasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That team was good.
yeah, 4-2 in the Eastern Conference Finals.
They had a Dwight Howard who was in his prime, like best
He
years.
was great that year.
They had Jameer Nelson at point.
Yeah, they had Jameer Nelson, they had Rashard Lewis,
Rashard.
JJ Redick, Michael Petrus, and then Marcin Gortat was there.
Oh
Who else did
wow.
they have? I think Lewis started power forward. He was 6'10".
Yeah,
Jeremy
Rashard Lewis. Yep.
Jeremy Richardson, who wasn't great. Never mind. Jason Richardson was on a Orlando team at some point, but yeah, Courtney Lee was on that team. Tyronn Lue. But
Tyron Lue. Yeah.
I think the main starters were Hito Turkoglu was on that team.
Yep.
I think the main starters were Nelson, Redick, Turkoglu, Rashard Lewis, and then Dwight Howard. That
That's a
team
pretty
was
good team.
so good, and I was playing live at that point. They were so good in NBA Live.
Oh man, that's when NBA Live was like at the end of its career. That was like one of the last good years
That
before
was right.
2K was just like,
Yep. That was back when Live was better, I think, than 2K.
oh yeah, 2K was okay, but it never
Until,
got good until the next gen of console.
2010, it was great.
2010 was good.
Yeah.
2010 was good. Once they started introducing MJ back, that's when
Mhm.
they started to really kick it up.
2K11 was MJ. That
Yeah.
was such a good. That's my favorite 2K of all time. 2K11.
Yeah, that one was yeah, that was just a good year, like good years of basketball around that time. That's when
Mm-hmm.
Derrick Rose was hot. There was man, Kobe was still really, really good. I mean, Kobe never really declined, I guess, until he tore his Achilles, but even then he was
Mm-hmm.
still Black Mamba. Um, okay, so that's a good pick. Orlando's a good pick.
Yeah, like I said, I was gonna go with the Thunder, but due to my NBA Live experience and just people forget about that Orlando Magic team and how good they were with like Dwight Howard and everything. Dwight Howard that year put up 20. He had 14.2 rebounds. Assists, he only had one, but he had 2.1 blocks, a steal a game. He was unbelievable. I think I picked the wrong year. But still, he had 20 rebounds, 13.8 or 13.8 rebounds, 20 points per game, 2.9 blocks a game with one steal.
Yeah, Dwight Howard at the time, he came out the same year as Ben Gordon, I'm pretty sure. And Ben Gordon for the Bulls was hot. He really only played in the fourth quarter and still
Mm-hmm.
averaged almost 20 points a game. He ended up getting six man of the year the rookie season instead of Dwight Howard or instead of rookie of the year. I felt
Yeah.
as though he should have gotten rookie of the year, but Dwight Howard got it. And when he took, I mean, he took off after that year.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he ended up going to the finals. He could have been in the finals this year. We don't know what's going to happen with the NBA season, but
Yeah, that is unfortunate with this year.
yeah, I feel bad. Like if it doesn't happen, like we lose the potential of LeBron winning another
or,
championship
or making it in the Western Conference.
or at least
Yeah.
making it. That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
That Western Conference is definitely this is one of the most competitive Western conferences we've seen if you look at like a top 6 aspect.
And then Giannis with the highest PER of all time.
Yeah,
Will that
luckily he'll
count?
still get that. That still has to count. That has to.
Well, we'll have to see. But who's your pick?
So you already said it, but my favorite team that never won the finals was definitely the Oklahoma City Thunder with the big 3. James
Yeah.
Harden, KD, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook all ended up winning MVPs
Mm-hmm.
after they split up. I mean, that was one of the most talented teams I've ever seen, and we if they stuck together,
I think they
they
could have
could have
won.
easily won 2 or 3 championships with the
Yeah.
right pieces.
Yeah, they definitely could. They decided to stick with Ibaka over James Harden. Um, all of them at that point, they were like young 20s. All the
Yeah,
guys, they were just
all of them.
fresh in the league. They've only been in there a few years. They were hot. They beat, I believe, the Lakers in one of the years. They also beat. They might have even beat the Spurs.
I was gonna say, did I'm pretty sure they got through past the Spurs too.
Yeah, so first round, they went up against the Mavericks, swept them. Mavericks, reigning champions, swept them.
Yep.
Then in the semifinals, they went up against the Lakers, 4-1, done. And then they went up against, I think that was when Howard went to the Lakers. Could be wrong. On that team for the Lakers, they did not have Dwight Howard. That was back when Bynum and Gasol and
Andrew Bynum, yeah.
Meta World Peace were there. But yeah, 4-1. And then Western Conference Finals, 4-2 over the Spurs. And then they lose 4-1 in the finals after winning the first game. After winning the first game.
So they beat I mean, that Miami Heat team was I mean, that's one of the best teams we've ever seen.
Yeah.
For them
Yeah.
to go out and to just win 4 in a row against that Thunder I mean, that Thunder team just, like, collapsed, but it just goes to show that I mean, they were young. They were playing Dwayne Wade, Bosh, and LeBron all in their prime.
Yeah,
Best players in the league.
you could not stop LeBron.
That's the Olympic team practically. That's practically the starting Olympic team right there. So, I mean, there was no stopping them. I mean, definitely though, if they hands down on paper though, that's then for me, that's like my for what from what I watched. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
watch too much basketball in the 90s. I mean, there was like the Nets had a good team back-to-back years. They lost the finals. They lost to like the Lakers. They lost to I think the Spurs. Um, so that would be like up there as well, I guess. But definitely that OKC, team back in 2012 or whatever year it was, that was definitely the best team that never
Mm-hmm.
won to me. Who okay, so for the other question we had, best team that never made the championship, that never made the finals. Who
Mm-hmm.
do you have?
Before we get into that, I just want to say like our choices though. With me, I not really like being able to follow basketball until I didn't really follow it till I was like almost 10. So since like 2004, 2005 ish, there wasn't too many choices to be made, especially when the last like 7 years or so, LeBron made the finals. And then also the Golden State Warriors were there. They had all that. And then all the other
Yeah.
teams, it was like Celtics, the Lakers lost, but they ended up winning. The Celtics won one. LeBron with the Cavs. I don't know. There wasn't too many choices there. But my favorite team that did not make the finals, 2011 Bulls.
Yep.
Like, you have to go with the homer pick right there. MVP Derrick Rose, the number
What a
one
season.
seed in. I think they had the best record in the NBA.
62 and 20 that year.
Yeah, and they ended up losing 4-1 to the Heat, just like the Thunder. They won the first game and they could not close it out the remaining games. They shut down Derrick Rose, and it was the LeBron show from there on out.
That's all it was. And I mean, let's face it, that Miami Heat team had the best supporting cast for the amount of money that they spent. They had Mario Chalmers, they had Coltrane, Norris Cole coming off the bench. They had Chris Anderson, who randomly wanted to be halfway decent with that team. So they had the pieces to fill in, and it was tough because obviously we ended up seeing Derrick Rose get hurt after that year, and it was never the same. So he never really got to play it back. I think it was the following year we had the lockout for until almost December, and that's
Mm-hmm.
when the Bulls went back to the playoffs. Derrick Rose gets hurt at the end of the game against the Sixers.
Mm-hmm.
Should not have been in the game personally, but that was the history of Tibbs. He liked to run his guys down. Um, yeah, hands down. I was gonna say I actually had two teams. The Bulls, that 62 and 20 team was one of them. The other one is definitely, and I think somebody else had said it as well,
The
is the
Suns.
2004 2005 Phoenix Suns. They also won 62 and 20. To me, that was my favorite team to play with in NBA Live. That was my favorite team to watch. Every time they were on Sports Center, I was watching it. I started I think I really got into statistics with sports that year, with keeping up with leaders in points per game, assists per game, steals. I know around that time, AI was always leading in points, and you had Kobe. You had like AI leading in steals. Larry Hughes back in the day with Washington. Somebody mentioned a young Washington team that was
Mm-hmm.
pretty good, and that was a good pick too for a team that never made it. They had Larry Hughes, Gilbert Arenas was amazing. That Anton Jameson. But for me, that Suns team, that Sean Marion was ruthless,
Joe
ugliest
Johnson.
shot I've ever seen. One of the ugliest shot I've ever seen. If you can picture a shot and compare it to a person, it would be Sloth from the Goonies. Um, but he made it. He worked with it, and he was very good on the boards. And they had Amari Stoudemire. Stoudemire was nuts. He came into the league. He was second year was dominating, and of course, the back-to-back MVP, Steve Nash.
Yeah, along with
Steve Nash,
Joe Johnson, right?
Joe Johnson, ISO Joe, and Quentin Richardson. Nobody talks
Oh,
about Quentin Richardson, but he was one of the best three-point shooters for like 3 years straight. Like just like 45% three-point shooter. They to me, they had a very fun team. They had Raja Bell at the time too. Raja Bell was extremely incredible. And then I couldn't name anybody else on that team. But for me, that was a fun team to watch. They ended up losing to the Spurs, I believe, that year in the playoffs.
in the
They
Western
ended up
Conference
going.
Finals.
Yep, I think it was like 4-1. Spurs were just great. Popovich is like, that team to me was like the Patriots in the NFL. And then there was a year where Kobe eliminated the Suns. I don't know if it was a year before, or a year after. Kobe ended up hitting a game winner late in a series against them and eliminated them. I think it was like first round. And that might have been the year the Lakers won the championship, the NBA Finals. I just remember it was like the first or second round, and the Suns were eliminated by this Lakers team who really only had Kobe and Pau Gasol, and they were going up against this powerhouse of the Phoenix Suns. And well, we can talk about the Mamba mentality then too, but that was definitely one of my favorite teams to watch. I would say in the history, that's hands down one of my favorite teams. So next
Yeah,
to the Bulls.
I'm not seeing any time in which the Lakers actually beat the Suns in a playoff series during that stretch.
It then are you sure it wasn't the year before?
I am sure.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, Spurs and then Timberwolves back then, and then '03 was
'06.
'06. I don't know if the Lakers were good back '06.
'06.
The Lakers, no, Suns won 4-3 over that game.
Oh, they did? Okay, then you know what I'm thinking of? Kobe had a game winner.
Yeah,
Kobe had a game winner
game 4.
in that series that I'll always remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Suns, man, that was a good team. The Lakers, yeah, because that's right. The Lakers were a higher seeded team. They were facing the Suns. That was first round, and that's when I thought for sure the Suns were gonna go. But that's when um, the Suns, if I'm not mistaken, ended up losing the Western Conference Finals.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
knew there was a Kobe game winner somewhere in there. I was super young at the time too. I think I was like 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kobe scored 4 points in 11 seconds. And then yeah, that was it. That was all they wrote. But the Lakers did end up losing that series. That team though, with the Suns, so good. Steve Nash was
Steve
great. The
Nash
7 second or less offense,
changed the
wild.
game.
Yeah, they would have excelled a lot in this time. I also think that Thunder team could have like excelled a lot more if the game was played like in today's age.
Oh, hands down. Hands down. They were a very young team. Like today's day and age is different. It's almost like run and gun,
Mm-hmm.
right? In the NFL. So you have run shoot. You're shooting the ball with 20 seconds on the shot clock. Back in the day, it was strategy. It
Yeah.
was defense. Now it's well, how do we beat a good defense? We get somebody like Steph Curry who could shoot the ball downtown 20 times and probably hit almost 10 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So that was definitely a game changer there. The way the Suns moved the ball, I mean, they spread the ball so well that if they shot like they did in today's age, maybe they would have dominated the league back then. I mean, obviously that was the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But yeah,
but I think is that gonna wrap it up? I don't think we have any other sports news. We'll come up with a topic for next week. Um, we'll coordinate something. We'll put it on social media. We'll put it on Twitter, Instagram again. Want to get everybody's feedback. We appreciate everybody who voiced their opinion on Twitter today. I'm not sure if there was any. I think there was one or two on Instagram that I saw. Maybe
mm-hmm.
not. But either way, we want everybody to stay interactive with us, especially during a time like this where we can't really go out, we can't talk to people face to face. So let's revert to social media. If you're not following us, go ahead and like, subscribe, download. We are on YouTube. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcast, SR Only Pod. We are the Standing Room Only Podcast. Again, our personal accounts. I am on Instagram. I am iGoose with 4 O's. Don't ask why.
You can follow myself at the Healy6 on Twitter and Instagram.
All right. Thanks, guys.
And we'll see you guys next week.